Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is 9 o'clock on the dot here. Time for the 14 First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock. Remember, we stream every night at 9 with a full-blown weather forecast here, and we answer your questions too. So if you have questions, you can put them on the 14 News Facebook page, comment section, and I will check those here as we get along in the show. We have a quiet night out there, a cold one again, with clear skies overhead. We're tracking that clearing and then clouds returning overnight, and not as cold tomorrow and Wednesday. Temperatures will actually move into the middle 50s by Wednesday. Thursday, kind of the fly in the ointment here. We drop back down into the 40s, and we have some rain likely, maybe some rumbles of thunder, followed up by a sunny and drier weekend with temperatures in the 60s by Saturday. Here's tomorrow at noon, and you can see that south wind taking over. That's going to bring the clouds up first and eventually get the atmosphere primed for some rain, which we need, by the way. That's not a bad thing. Here's Wednesday morning, and by the afternoon, a few showers starting to breeze into western Kentucky. Then the main event unfolds on Thursday with rain moving in during the afternoon and evening. Our evening models here have backed way off on that idea of rain for some reason. We do need it though. You see the drought monitor here showing most of the northwestern half of the tri-state now abnormally dry to severe drought conditions in Fairfield there up in Wayne County. So Illinois really hurting for rain. Areas along the Wabash River, moderate drought to abnormally dry. We need about 2.5 to 3 inches of rain to really get us back on an even keel here with precip for the year so far. And remember, we're coming into this from a dry December and November. Temperatures are on the rise though, and by Saturday we peak out there at 67. Then we crash back down into the mid 40s Sunday and Monday as clouds and rain move back into the picture. Right now we're at 25 degrees. Winds are out of the west at 3. The feels like temperature is at 25. And you see the area temps there compared with what we've had over the month. It's been a real hodgepodge here of temperatures. Last Thursday we were at 72. Of course, we had tornadoes in central Indiana on that day. Friday then we backed off a bit. The weekend was cold, and now here we sit in the lower 30s, pretty much where we were at the beginning of the month. No rain, look at that. We've gone 7 days, almost 8 days now without rain, and we will probably tack a couple more on here before we get some scattered showers on Thursday. For the month, we are behind by about 2 inches, 2.65 for the year. And that is, typically January, February, March are wet months. We rely on those to kind of recharge the soil for the growing season, and that's just not happening this year. Cloud cover in the plains will swoop down into the region tonight as that high pressure digs farther south. And what's left of the nor'easter now moving into Nova Scotia there in the Maritime provinces. Back down across the northeast here, quite a snow event, and we're going to talk more about that in Science Corner in a couple of minutes. The hour-by-hour forecast showing that high pressure over about Birmingham, Alabama tomorrow. On the backside of it, southerly winds bringing up milder temps and cloud cover too. And then we kind of have a messy cold front, warm front situation where the warm front will lift through and focus some scattered showers. Now the latest model here, at least the graph model, has taken the heavier rain farther south into Tennessee. We'll have to see if the other models follow suit on that. That's a bummer if that trend holds, because we were really counting on that rain on Thursday. The GFS model has updated as well. It keeps us with rain over western Kentucky primarily on Wednesday night, Thursday, and then drying out Friday, Saturday, with another shot of rain coming in here for the first part of next week. Maybe wintry weather to the north, up closer to, say, Terre Haute, Indianapolis, Springfield, Peoria, and maybe north of St. Louis there, like Alton, Illinois. And then rain overspreads as that southerly wind and warm front lift to the north. So that's kind of the nutshell version of the forecast. We'll look at the European here, just kind of a sanity check. It's still pretty wet for Thursday, but again, that was the early model run. We only get one of those a day. Friday, Saturday, both showing dry on the European, and then rain returning for the first part of next week. Actually, the European tempting us with snow there for the first half of next week. Still a week away, something to watch but not worry about at this point. Down to 18 degrees tonight, 45 for the high tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies during the day. And then over the next 7 days, our best chance of rain opens up on Thursday, followed by sunny, drier, and warmer for Saturday, and then a cool down Sunday and Monday. Still looking at above and way above normal temperatures through the middle of March there, the first week of March, and wetter than normal too. Our pet pick tonight is a new one here. There it is from Troy. You can't see it up there. There's a little present, a Christmas ribbon up there on top. But Syra says, Merry Christmas. A little late here. Great Christmas gift for the family. All right, let's check out your comments here and see what you want to know. Hopefully we'll get them in here. There we are. All right. Good evening. Hope my day is great. Oh, that's Kevin Canavan out there in New Jersey. He sent me a message, and I'm sure you're shoveling snow. Gotta be in New Jersey. I think it was, what was it, the first blizzard warning for the entire state in like 30 years out there. So Kevin was on here last week, one of these visitors from afar. Most of you, of course, from here in the tri-state, but we welcome all. We're glad to have you on. So good to hear from you, Kevin. Cheyenne Hammonds, good evening. Stephanie Henderson, good evening. Let me see. I think if that's okay. Let's see. Emma Rowland, good evening. Suzanne Daly, sure was cold today. Yeah, I saw snowflakes this morning too. Jeff Miller, did I take home a gallon of fresh milk? Oh, he's talking about Out and About. I should show that one tonight. Maybe I'll show it tomorrow night. Yeah, I was out at a dairy farm for Out and About. That's the one that ran today. I was actually there a couple weeks ago when we still had snow on the ground, the Rexing farm, which is in northern Vandenberg County, and they let me drink milk, not right out of the cow. It came through a spout and into, just before it went into the holding tank. They held a glass up there and we had it. It was very good milk. Never had fresh milk right out of the cow before. Still kind of body temperature. Zach Seats, good evening. Are there concerns for strong thunderstorms this or next week? I don't think this week. Next week, too soon to say. If we do hear thunder on Wednesday night or Thursday, it would more likely be elevated thunderstorms given the cooler conditions we're expecting at the surface, mid-40s. And what happens sometimes is the warm air along the front will ride up and over the cold air, and you'll get thunderstorms that form aloft. So these would not be surface-based storms that would produce the thunder if we do hear any. Still kind of a long shot on that. All right, and that's kind of the same process you get that they have with the nor'easter, where there was thunder and lightning, but you're talking about elevated convection up over a layer of cold air. So you don't get, typical, of course a blizzard's not typical, but you don't get like tornadoes and things like that from elevated thunderstorms. You can get hail, and occasionally you can get damaging wind gusts if it's able to break through. Let's talk about that nor'easter a little bit here in Science Corner. We do not have any additional blizzard warnings. Well, I guess we have a couple way up there in Maine, but for the most part now the northeast coast is clear. If you look at the 24-hour radar loop, you see why these things are called nor'easters. The snow basically coming down from the northeast as that low pressure tracks along the coast. And that is a kind of a signature feature of nor'easters. They tend to throw the snow in this way first, and then the wind shifts and it comes back around the other way. And the northeast here is uniquely positioned geographically. If you'll notice, you got water here on two sides. So if a low moves up, it has excess, it has a fetch of water here and also up north of Cape Cod. And so some of these can really be big snowmakers. I read that Providence, Rhode Island had their biggest snow ever, 3 feet of snow in one event. Just crippling up there in New England. And to give you a little clearer picture here, you can see where the snow was reported here. I think it was 3 inches at Pawtucket, which would be kind of right in here. This would be Newport. Westerly is down this way. Providence is right up in here on Narragansett Bay. And so, yeah, they had a lot. And then Fall River, Mass, and then you go on out there toward Cape Cod. And that's Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. Little geography lesson for you here. I used to go there. My grandparents were in Rhode Island when I was a kid. And so I spent many summers right there in Barrington, which is just outside of Providence, and going over the Mount Hope Bridge and down to Newport to go to the beach. So yeah, but they're getting a heck of a snowstorm, or they did. And then you come out here to Cape Cod, really prone there to wind and coastal flooding and all kinds of problems that you would get and associate with those strong winds in a nor'easter. And this is classified as a bomb cyclone. Typically a bomb cyclone, at least by definition, it would have to drop 24 millibars in 24 hours. And this particular nor'easter dropped 40 millibars in 12 hours. So talk about major, major intensification. That's where the bomb comes from because it happens so rapidly. And in the case of the nor'easter that just happened, we had thunder, lightning, we had 80-mile-per-hour winds, and just all kinds of mayhem up there as that low pressure tracked across the coast there of New England. It's worth noting, too, that those strong winds, not only do they bring down trees and power lines, but they cause flooding because they push the water inland. And so initially, you would get coastal flooding here along Long Island and Long Island Sound, and then as the low kind of moves on by, it would then affect the coast of Maine. And prior to that, New Jersey, all the way down into the Delmarva Peninsula. Not so much down here, but definitely New Jersey, particularly up here in the tri-state area. And that tri-state would be New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So that's what was happening on the East Coast while we were sitting here griping about some cold weather. Kinley Madison hates snow. Well, I haven't found many snow fans here. Now that we're kind of on the other side of winter, everybody's ready to move on, you know. That's just how we operate psychologically. You kind of reach a point where, you know, enough already. And we've had a little over, I think, 14.7 inches of snow officially at Evansville Regional, which is a pretty beefy winter for us. We typically would get around 12 or less, and so it's bonus inches of snow. We are not out of the woods with regard to snow yet. We need to get at least into the middle of March before we can kind of put any potential for snow in the rearview mirror. Of course, the conditions are going to have to come together, but they still can in February and through March. We've even had big snows in early April in the tri-state. They are rare, but they have happened, so just keep that in mind. That's all I have for you tonight. Tomorrow night we'll get out there and check out those cows, Jeff Miller, and in the meantime, stay safe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on 14 News at 10 o'clock.